Hey, good morning. We are here to introduce you to a brand new staff member, someone who's going to be directing ministry for us, and I'm excited to introduce him to you. I want you to get to know him, learn a little bit about him and what he's going to be doing. So let's welcome Kellen Allen. Here he is. Kellen Allen.
I'm here.
That's right.
Glad to be here.
Now, if you've been around our church in the last few years, I bet you know Kellen. If you've been in men's ministry, I know you know Kellen. He does a lot of our emceeing. He's worked with Pastor PJ, and but you've made a huge transition in your life just now, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I saw your social media post, and that was big. You're letting go of a long time working for who?
24-Hour Fitness, where you spent a lot of time.
That's right.
And we got to know each other there.
You've seen me there, haven't you?
You're working hard, though.
Yeah,
You're working hard.
Yeah, that's true. I think by the time you and I met, though, I had already dumped a lot of weight. So
You did. When I first came to the church, can I say you were a little heavy? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, you were a little heavy, but now you look great now.
I wasn't as cut and chiseled as I am now. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, that's what you were gonna say. That's what you were.
getting to.
That's what you were thinking. I know.
So I started coming to Compass Bible Church, and I had been here for about 4 or 5 months at the time.
Yeah.
And I would sit in the back,
Yeah.
and I was in the corner.
Right.
And then I worked at 24-Hour Fitness, the one you worked out at, and I remember seeing you there, and I'm like, wait, that's Pastor Mike. And I didn't say anything.
Right.
For like 3 months. I would see you.
3 months?
It was like 3 months. Well, I don't know. I
was in the zone probably, right?
You were. You looked focused.
Sweating, muscles bulging.
They started to cut up, so I was a little intimidated. Like you started to get those,
It's a little intimidating.
Right, and so there was one day, and you used to always be outside reading your Bible right after.
Yeah, sucking air.
Sucking air.
Yeah, trying to recover.
And I would walk right past you.
Yeah.
And you'd kind of look, and you look back down. I'm like, he knows who I am. Like he's probably like, why don't you talk to me? You weren't thinking that, but in my mind, that's what I kept thinking. And so finally one day, you were sitting on the bench sucking air.
Yeah.
I walked past you.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I'm like, I got to stop doing this. And then I come and like stand over you.
Yeah.
And you kind of look up like, oh boy, like who did I make mad?
Right. And how tall are you, by the way?
6'7". I'm 6'7".
6'7". See,
Yeah.
and I'm only 6'5", so.
And you were sitting down.
Yeah,
so
no, I was sitting down, so, right. Anyway.
Yeah. And so I was like, hey, Pastor Mike, and you kind of looked up like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I introduced myself and said I've been coming to your church for 3 months. And
we started a relationship, which was great.
Yeah.
And you just progressively continue to get involved in ministry here.
Yeah.
But tell us, before we talk about that, tell us about your family. You married?
Yeah, married to my beautiful wife, Chelsea, and we got married back in 2012. We have 3 beautiful children, one that is 7 weeks old as of yesterday. And so my oldest is Bryce, he's 4, and then my daughter is Blake, she's 2, and then my newest son, his name is Tristan, he's 7 weeks, and so that's been fun. But this current environment is Tristan knows more of the house than he does outside right now. And to be in SoCal, that's something I never thought I'd say.
Right.
So,
and this has been a weird time, hasn't it?
A little bit
Yeah.
weird.
How's your wife doing it with all this?
She's great. She's just a trooper, and I mean, just being at home with her now and being able to validate that, she has the hardest job, and she does it so well. And you know, I got a few tricks up my sleeve, but after about 2 hours, the kids are like, "Okay, Dad, we saw that yesterday. It was funny. I'm not gonna laugh again." And so, but she's always creative and has all these games that, I'm just thank God for her.
Well, at 6'7". I assume you were, and working at 24-Hour Fitness as your career, I'm assuming you've played some sports in your day.
I played a couple.
Yeah, ping pong. What did you play?
Yeah, I played college basketball. Played football and basketball growing up in Texas because they make you play football. Like you don't have an option. So played football and basketball. So to start 8th grade, I was 5'10", and I was bigger, so I was an offensive lineman. And then by the time I started 9th grade, I was 6'4" in the course of a year. And so I shot up, and I was like a beanpole.
Yeah.
And I remember what I wanted to do to people when they came across the middle playing football. Like I wanted to tackle them hard.
Right.
And the coach said, hey, we're going to have to move you to receiver. And that means you're going to have to go across the middle and get hit sometimes. I'm like, basketball is what it is then.
Right.
I guess I won't be playing anymore. So starting in high school, I played basketball and then was blessed enough to get a college scholarship to play at Long Island University. So I went from Texas to Brooklyn, New York. Talk about a culture shock.
Yeah, that's a change.
Yeah, big time. And so played 4 years of college basketball out there and and then fell in love with Chelsea.
Well, that's the only reason I brought this up,
Yeah.
because I really want to get around to bragging on your wife, because
Yeah.
I know her story, but she was an athlete in her own right, a good one.
She was a very good athlete.
I shouldn't say was, she probably still is, but I know she was excelling in college.
Yeah, she was a great athlete. She played softball, and she was fast, and so yeah, we got to know each other because she was playing softball, I was playing basketball, and our school was in the middle of the city. It was in Brooklyn, New York, and so all of the athletes would spend a lot of time together. I was 2 years ahead of her, and I started to see her in the training room. Like, I'd go in there to, get my tape and get stretched out and all that stuff before practice, and then she would be in there.
So you meet all the important people of your life in the gym, apparently, right?
I guess so. I guess the gym is a good place for me. So yeah, we met there and started dating when she was a freshman, and when I was a junior, I didn't give her a lot of time to get out there and for people to get eyes on her. So freshman year,
That's good.
Yeah, and then from there on, we fell in love then, and I ended up staying to get my master's degree, and I was a graduate assistant coach for the track and field team. Not even basketball, track and field, which is a whole different story. But I didn't want to go overseas because I got a little love struck, and I didn't want to leave her.
Right, good for you. And how many years have you been married now?
So we've been married 8 years in June.
Okay, so one master's degree is not enough, because now I got you pursuing another master's degree.
Yeah.
And how's that? Tell us where you're going to school.
So I'm going to Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky, doing it online, which is new for me, but it's been great.
Good.
Going into seminary, I didn't have an undergrad in any type of biblical studies or anything like that, so I was nervous. I'm like, man, I'm going to get a master's degree in something that I didn't get an undergrad in. And most people, their track is undergrad and then go right into seminary. So I was nervous, and the first class that I got into was a hermeneutics class. And after being in there for 3 weeks, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm right here, and a lot of it is because of what I was taught here, and what I learned from you and Pastor PJ and all the pastors that I had opportunities to be under.
Hermeneutics, by the way, is the study. It is the biblical art and science of interpreting the Bible.
There you go.
I know most of our CBCers know that, but just in case they don't.
Just in case, it's there now. But
So now you're taking some languages, right?
I'm taking Greek.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We've all had to do that. That's a lot of work.
it is. Greek is awesome though, because sometimes when you're preaching and you're like, in Greek it's this, and then I'd be like, what is he saying? Now I know there's some words that you'll say, and I'm like, hey, I know that. I just studied that.
Right.
So that's been awesome. But yeah, reading how to understand the New Testament Greek, or the New Testament in Greek by David Allen Black, which it's a great book, and I don't know if I would quite recommend taking Greek when you're having a newborn, though.
Right. That's been a little bit of a challenge.
That is hard, right.
But my son Tristan, he might come out speaking Koine Greek before he learns English, because he's got the alphabet. I'm singing him songs.
Good.
And
Going through the paradigms with your baby, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So.
Good for you. Now, you're going to be involved in ministry here in a variety of ways, and we knew going into this that to make this transfer of your career to church ministry, that there's a lot of things you're going to be involved in. But there's a few things you have your hand particularly in that you're going to focus on. And like I said, I just want to make clear, a lot of different things that you're going to see Kellen involved in. But right now, directing some ministries, one of the main ministries that you're going to just move to the next level is what?
So the Compass Sports is what it is right now. I'm not going to release too much information because it's an exciting time that we're going to have with the sports ministry. It's something that I've always had my eye on, and so when you gave me the opportunity to lead that ministry, I was super excited about it. And when I first came to this church, I didn't know anybody, and I knew it had a sports ministry, and I actually applied to go play on the basketball team there. And there's a little drop-down box that said, please state your level of basketball. What's your highest level? I think it was something like that. And I put professional. Like, I think I'm better than average there. I don't want to be too arrogant about it, but I got something to offer somebody, especially if we're playing in rec leagues. And I put that on there, and I sat by the phone, And I waited, and I never heard anything. And so, anyway.
That's because we were all scared if you were really professional.
Well, I thought y'all were that good. I'm like, they must have some real professionals here. We don't need you. But yeah, and that's a ministry that's always been something that, I could have, if I would have had at the time been part of a sports team there, like, God's plan was perfect, but I don't know, I could have got involved a lot quicker maybe. But I thought about it for the number of guys specifically, and it'll be women too, but guys specifically that come into our church that are just kind of floating around and not really plugged in because they don't know anybody.
Right.
And, it's a little bit easier for women to say like, hey, I'm going to go open myself up. I'm going to go be in NAVMO and thing, right. Or Women in Faith, which we have these great ministries that are on ramps, and you get women into the church and plugged in and ultimately in the baptismal tanks. And for the men, I was just thinking about it, and sports could be it, right? It's a lot easier for me to say, hey, Mike, come get a workout with me. Let's go on a hike, on a run, or something like that. It's like, sure, I will. But if I say to you, you've never been in the church before, hey, come to my men's Bible study, most guys are like, that's not for me. I'm a little intimidated by it. So this is going to be great. I'm very excited about it. And what I really want to do with the sports ministry is, one, organize it. I think we have a lot of sports avenues right now that are happening out there, like softball, like linked cycling, and things like that they're already there. And so the foundation is there. It's really about just organizing all of these ministries together, getting all of these teams under one, understanding the vision here of we want to go out and we want to invite people to church, and we want to get them plugged in, and we want them to start knowing the Bible and knowing the gospel and knowing truth.
And I know your heart in all this is not just let's just do sports with a Christian t-shirt on. Right. This is about ministry. This is about seeing people saved. It's about people integrating into the body of Christ. And I know that's your heart. And you've also been doing some preaching. And we've been going through some reviews together. And I'm sure that's when Pastor Mike maybe does get a little intimidating, when we're sitting there with the clipboard and the screen. But you've been doing some preaching, and we've been working hard to try and refine that. How's that going?
It's been going well. I feel like I'm getting better every time out.
They're going to get to know a lot more of you, Kellen. This is just an introduction. Welcome to the staff. Welcome to the team. We're excited about seeing Kellen come on board. He's going to do a lot of ministry around here. So when you see him, welcome him. If you want to drop him a line, it's Kellen, that's K-E-L-L-E-N, at compasschurch.org. It's a brand new email address, so fill up his inbox. Welcome him to the team. He's on social media. You'll see him around here. He's going up on the website. I think this weekend you're going to see his profile, his picture. And so welcome, Kellen. It's great to have you on board.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Pastor Mike.